Let's start with a brief recap of Logger Pro. From your main screen, go to the Logger Pro icon. Open a generic copy of Logger Pro. Now plug in your spectrometer. Check the lights on the spectrometer, make sure it's running. When it becomes active, you'll get this screen here. Now you want to go to Experiment, Calibrate, Spectrometer 1, and you'll get a dialog box. Allow the spectrometer to warm up as indicated. Make sure you have a cuvette of DI water in the spectrometer, and when you are allowed to, press Finish Calibration, then press OK. Now remember your guide. This will be valuable here coming up. Press Configure Spectrometer from the main toolbar. You'll get this screen. Initially, the button Absorbance versus Test Tube will read Absorbance versus Concentration. Change the column name to Test Tube, the short name to Test Tube, the unit to number. The radio button will change. Make sure it is pressed, and then select 458.5 nanometers, or some number very close to that. Make sure you do all of these steps. All of these steps must be accomplished. Press OK. And you're out to this screen now. You'll notice that your columns are labeled Test Tube Number, Absorbance. You have an absorbance reading, and you're ready to do Collect and Entry. You are ready to go. So with the spectrometer configured, I have now hit Collect, and we're ready to start. Heather's preparing her first sample. Notice that she mixed it thoroughly. And now notice she has a box of Kimwipes handy. We haven't mentioned these yet, but do remember you need to wipe your cuvettes with Kimwipes. And now we'll read our first sample. So I hit Keep. I get a value. When I hit Keep, I get this box instead of the normal one. Test tube number. Enter the test tube number. I entered number 1. Now we're back to work. Heather's going to take the cuvette. She's going to dump it out. This time she's going to rinse the cuvette with a small amount of the original solution. She's going to rinse twice. Now personally, I would use a little bit more rinse than she's using, but there's a strategy here. She's using very little rinse, and it means that if she makes a mistake, she'll still have enough material left over to rerun a sample. That could be important. So try to make sure you do leave enough that you could make that second run if you had to. Now she fills. Now for a wipe with a Kimwipe. Remember, your Kimwipes are underneath your top shelf, hanging down from the bottom. And now our next reading. And on to our next sample. Remember, get that cuvette closed well with your finger. If you're not sure you can do that, you can get a cuvette cap. Again, this material is quite corrosive. and number 3. Two to go. Mix the sample. Number 4. And now for our last sample. And number 5. Our last data point, note we have a nice straight line. That indicates that we did a good job with our mixing. Now we're going to hit stop. And we're ready to run our high standard. Heather wipes it and places it in the spectrometer. And there you go. That's our final reading. And now the hard part, math. Remember your chart. It will help you configure your columns to get the proper answer. And that's it.